Chicago in the wintertime is not just a city. It's a test of your patience. And nowhere giving out pop quizzes more than the CTA. When the month hits November and that season change, the air become the only lifeline sometimes. But it's a lifeline that come at a cost. Don't let it being blue outside right now fool you. You know that Midwestern grace always lurking. Most days it's just a flat concrete sky that make the whole city look depressed. It set the mood for the struggle ahead. You haven't seen or felt the sun in a week, and now you got to deal with the commute. Kanye said it best when he said it feel like summertime shop. The beach, baseball games, bars, and hanging out. But Chicago, when it ain't summertime, it's a different story. When November hit and you officially can't walk outside without pants and a jacket, that's when as a Chicagoan you know it's time to prepare mentally for what's ahead. Especially if you like me and you don't like cold weather. Once I say goodbye to the sun beaming on me and it actually meaning something, I get my Long Johns out the back of the closet because for the next 3 months, I know I won't be able to leave the house without them. The energy in the city, it go from freedom in the summer to survival in the wintertime. Aww. And don't even get me started on the hygiene. In the summer, the CTA is dirty, don't get me wrong. But in the winter, it's a swamp. Everybody dragging salt and sludge from the street. The floors are slip inside. In the summer, it's dusty. But in the wintertime, that same dust turn into a wet layer of dirt. And then don't let it be a bunch of people on the train or the bus, because now you with the big coat folks. Everybody coat big, it ain't no space for real. The windows fogged up from people breathing in recycled air through they shiesty or they scarf. You trapped in a human metal tube, smelling wet wool, old salt, ass, and whatever else melting off the floor. It's a whole different level of uncomfortable when you get on the elevator and you consistently met with a smell of piss stronger than Ronnie Coleman and Khalid Muscle, or just the smell of feet on the train cars. You would think they clean, they spent money hiring a whole K9 unit. But we gonna speak on that K9 unit a little bit more later. Don't get me wrong though, the train is definitely warm, and that's what make it the perfect place for odor, bacteria, and bad smells to linger. Don't be surprised if you take a seat on the train and you sit in a puddle of who know what. Now you gotta go home and burn your clothes. Then y'all gotta realize, the CTA not just for commuters when it's 10 below. In the summertime, a homeless person can fall asleep and wake up on the same block they want to be on. But for a lot of folks in the winter, this they crib. You really in somebody's house right now. You packed in tight with people who ain't got nowhere else to go to stay warm. And I don't blame them. While you trying to get to work, they just trying to survive the night. It's crazy because you see the city just letting the red line deal with a crisis it wasn't made for. Mind you, the city ain't done much of nothing for the homeless. So they just use the L as a 24-hour waiting room. It's an L for Chicago, and we the ones sitting in the middle of it. When you look around and you see back-to-back cars of homeless people with their whole life in bags, suffer from physical and mental ailments, I can't help but think our CTA employees are not social workers, and these people obviously need help. I'm not blaming the homeless people, because if I was homeless, I'd be doing the same thing. It's about warmth at the end of the day. The moral of the story is, in the wintertime, most times, there isn't anywhere for the homeless people to go besides public transportation. For the people who sleep on the street, or the people who scour the train looking for a come up, these people most times are already sporadic and unpredictable, adding the extra stress of winter, and it's a bad encounter waiting to happen. If you just a regular commuter who don't want to be bothered with people, you forced to be, because you might have to ask for a seat, or you might have to let somebody know that you don't have anything to spare. We already have a statewide market running through the train because of the people walking from car to car, selling anything from cannabis to Schedule I substances, and even just your household supplies and appliances. And I don't knock nobody hustle, But because of this, I personally seen people on trains smoking cigarettes and even stranger, harsher drugs in a public car where at some point a child will have to ride. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And when you don't have anything and you could look around and see the possible solution to your problem, it make people do some crazy things. I personally seen homeless people or even your classic YN harassing civilians who decline to give them money, or even scammers trying to get you to donate to a sports team that don't exist. On September 2nd, 2022, K9 units were introduced to the CTA. But since crime, drugs, and violence still ensues, it's clear the K9 units are there to keep people paying, considering most people just jump the turnstile. If you a loyal customer that pay for the bus and train on a consistent basis, whether you pay that $250 for the bus or that $275 for the train, or you just go get a pass for the week or something, this essentially what you paying for. What is your reward? You ultimately look for convenience when you take the bus and train, but a lot of time it don't even be that. It's a couple bus stations in the city and the area that have active bus stops that let you know the ETA, but that's very rare, especially in the South Side area. If you ever timed the bus looking at Google or Apple Maps and went to the stop expecting for it to be there, just for you to look at your phone and then say the bus passed you already, but you've been standing there the whole time, then you know the pain of a ghost bus. And if that happened when it's freezing outside, then that might have been a bus to stop you from getting frostbite. This what I will say though. Despite everything, I love the CTA. As a person who like to walk, I genuinely love to walk. So I appreciate being able to get places without having to drive, especially when it costs money to park. You literally got to pay $7 if you're trying to park an hour on a meter, or you got to pay $18 to $20, $30 a day just to park in a garage. So regardless, the $275, it end up being a better alternative anyway. And to be honest, I believe a city that got public transportation believe in its economy. And they want these people to move forward. Like, if your city don't got public transportation, I don't know if I could even, because it's like, everybody don't got a car. So I do understand it. And this the thing, a lot of the time, the city bringing all these different people together, it's hard to control sometimes. It's hard for them to manage, It be like that. But that's all I got, y'all. Drop a comment. Let me know what city you in. Tell me the craziest thing you seen on public transportation. See y'all in the next one.
Doors closing.